Hi, this is Chris Alfonso, Principal Software Engineer working on OpenStack and OpenShift. I'm going to demonstrate how to use OpenStack tools to install and configure OpenShift Enterprise 2.0 on Red Hat's distribution of OpenStack or RHOS version 4. I'll be using a host system running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.5, and all OpenStack Nova instances will also be running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.5. As you can see, I have two Yum repositories on my host system, one for RHEL 6.5 and one for RHOS 4.0. I've installed RHOS 4 ahead of time and configured the host to use neutron networking. The first task in this demonstration is to use Disk Image Builder to download a prepared QCOW2 KVM image and then modify the image to pre-install and configure anything that's generally applicable to all OpenShift hosts. In the interest of time, I'm only going to show you the demonstration of an OpenShift broker image creation. I've created an OpenShift node image ahead of time and already registered that with Glance. See, with this long disk image builder command, there's several environment variables that you can provide that will change the behavior of the disk image building process. You can see here I'm saying dib image size to 10, which means the image size will be 10 gigs. I'll need to set the elements path so disk image builder can find elements or customize scripts to add to the disk image building process. At the end of the command here, you'll see VM, RHEL, OpenShift Enterprise Broker. Those are all disk image builder elements, and they define what happens during the image building lifecycle. The things that you'll find interesting here are that we're providing dib RHSM OSE pool, dib RHSM pool. We're also providing credentials to be able to authenticate against Red Hat's content delivery network. So you'll see the username and password here blurred out for obvious reasons. Other interesting environment variables here are the dib OSE version. Disk image builder elements work with OpenShift Enterprise version 1.2 as well as 2.0. So it's important to differentiate between the two versions. Also, dib yum validator version, you'll see 2.0 beta. At the time of this recording, OpenShift Enterprise 2.0 is only available as a high-touch beta subscription, so a validator tool under the covers needs to know which version of the subscription we're going to validate against. So I'll go ahead and execute that disk image builder command, and we will get to building our image. In the interest of time, I've time-lapsed the package installation process and customization that goes on through disk image builder, but the end result is going to be a KVM QCOW2 image that has been customized. The next thing that we're going to do is take that image that was generated, and we're going to register it with OpenStack's Glance service. So you can see the node's already been registered. I'm going to go ahead and register the broker image. And then we'll have both images ready for our heat template to use once we kick off the heat stack creation. So now that is registered, we'll be able to see both images with Glance index. So the next thing that we're going to do is create a heat stack. And there's a lot to this command as well. So we're going to say heat create and give it a stack name. I use OpenShift 2 for OpenShift 2.0. The first argument to this command is going to be the template file, and this is really the driver file for the whole heat stack creation process. You can see here this path is heat templates, OpenShift Enterprise Heat, Neutron, OpenShift 1B, 1N for one broker, one node. The next argument is parameters. This is a big block of various parameters that the template expects to be provided. You can see that I'm going to provide a key name, which is a key pair that's going to be registered with the instance as it is initialized. I have registered a key with Nova using Nova key pair add. I'm going to use the prefix Nova local in my heat template. I am going to use a broker host name and a node host name. I need to know those ahead of time based upon how I'm doing the host configuration. They need to know about one another before they're actually up and running. So I pass that in and I will make use of it. There's many different installation methods for package installation available with this template. One of those is using the Red Hat Subscription Manager. You could use RHN or you could use Yum as well if you wanted to just use Yum repositories that you have locally. For this demonstration, I'm going to use the Red Hat Subscription Manager, so I'm going to provide a username and password. The other thing that you'll find interesting here is there's a conf sm reg pool parameter, which is just a fancy way to say the subscription pool identifier associated with the OpenShift Enterprise 2.0 high-touch beta subscription. The next parameter you'll see here is the private net ID, the public net ID, as well as the private subnet ID, and those are needed so that when the Nova instance is created, we know which network to place the instance in. So let's execute that. You can see that the heat stack is in progress. We'll refresh the instances tab in the Horizon dashboard. We should see 2 instances being created. You can see they have a private and public floating IP address associated with them. So that's a good sign there. Now we can go ahead and look at any events that have been created along the stack creation process. With heat event list, give it the stack name. You can see all sorts of create in progress or create complete resource statuses. You can see there's a broker wait condition that is in progress. Once the wait condition for the node and broker are done, we will know our stack's done. And now that the stack is created, I can log into the broker host and run OOMCO ping to validate that the node host is up and running and is reachable from the broker host, and it is. So I'll go ahead and run an RHC setup so that I can give OpenShift all the necessary information to set up an application. So the first thing I'm going to do is run RHC setup, log in with demo, and change my password, default password here, enter incorrectly the first time. Generate a token, give it a namespace. I'll just use Funzo. That'll be the default domain suffix for any app that's created. I'm going to go ahead and create a PHP application here. Relatively straightforward with RHC create app. I'm just going to call it test, and the type is going to be PHP-53. I'll go ahead and run that. Now this process is going to create a Git repository. It's going to wire it up in OpenShift. It's going to create a DNS entry. Then it's going to clone the Git repository locally on this system, which just so happens to also be the broker host that I'm using. So we'll wait for the DNS name to be available. It's cloned now, and we can see there's a test directory, which is the Git repository clone. So I'm going to grab the IP address from the broker instance. I've wired that up to as a name server because bind is running on there, and I've entered it in ahead of time so that I can use my local laptop browser to pull up test-funzo, and I can see the default application is running. So I'm going to go ahead and make a change to the application just to show you that it is indeed live. So I'll go into that PHP directory, modify the index PHP. I'm just going to change the title of that paragraph and call it Welcome to OpenShift Live Demo. I'm really excited about it. So I'll go ahead and add that change, commit it, and then I'm going to push the change without any additional arguments. So it's going to the master branch, and that will go ahead and redeploy the application. I'll refresh my browser screen, and you will be able to see how excited I am that the demo is complete. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the administration console as well, rather the developer console. You can see the test application that I've built here. You see it's type of PHP 5.3, what the domain name is here. I'm going to go ahead and create another application using the console here. And I think I'll create a Python. No, I'll probably create a Ruby 1.9 application. Just take the default public URL name that'll be prepended. Create the application. You can see that happens pretty quickly. I'm going to copy this git clone because I'm going to go ahead and make a change just like I did with the PHP application. So I'm going to clone it in my shell environment just to show you that that Ruby application was created. I'll go ahead and load that in the browser. Oh, I used HTTPS. I needed to use the HTTP scheme. So that's the default page there. I'll go back to my terminal and get out of here. Go into go ahead and clone the Ruby application. CD into Ruby. I'm going to go ahead and change the config.ru, and it's basically the same process as I demonstrated with PHP. It's just a different file. I'll go ahead and change the same heading. Oh, right down there. And a quick modification here, Ruby Live demo. Even more excited now. Add the change. I will commit that change. And as I did before, I will push it to OpenShift. That change gets redeployed. I'll refresh my browser, and the change is complete. For more information about OpenShift Enterprise 2.0, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.5, and RHOS 4.0, visit redhat.com/products.